So this should allow you guys to hear me, ideally. It does seem to be picking up. Let me just confirm that. Nope. Okay. So hopefully you guys can hear me. I can hear an echo, so I'm hoping you guys can't. But you probably can. Everything's messing up. I will be back in just a little. So hopefully this is working. I am viewing the chat just to make sure it is. You can see the buttons behind me, but unfortunately I hadn't had a chance to rearrange them. The program that I was going to use for my camera was not working well. Awesome. We just got confirmation that the Facecam audio is working. Thank you, Leslie. So I will start very shortly. I'm just as you can tell, I'm already a little flustered. My camera program that I was going to use for capturing this today ended up thank you, Leslie, ended up crashing and it refuses to work, so we're using the webcam still. Oof. Weird. We're using the webcam still, and setbacks like this is partially what we're going to talk about today, as well as ADHD, mental health, kind of what happened with the channel, what's going to happen with the channel. So, some stuff like that. I'm just seeing if anyone's going to be jumping on with us. I don't know if they are or not. But we'll start shortly either way. Because this will be up on the channel as it stands, so that way people can refer back to it. Because I think all of this that we're going to talk about today, particularly the mental health and ADHD awareness, is stuff that I really want people to be able to hear. When I was younger, I was very much an advocate for ADHD, and I've tried to do that somewhat in my adult life, but I haven't been as vocal or as direct about it as I could be, which is really unfortunate, because I think honestly ADHD needs more advocating than it gets these days, and it's seen as one of the least debilitating ones, and I think that's not necessarily correct. You know, it's not one of those that they're like, oh, it, you know, affects how they react to society. Oh, you know, they can't be in social situations because they have this, or they can't read because of that. Like, I think it's passed over a lot for a lot of the problems it creates. So we're going to touch on that. We're going to touch on some wonderful metaphors I've heard from the channel How to ADHD. They're doing a live stream from 1 till 3 our time, 11 to 1 PST, because they've just reached 400,000 subscribers, which is fantastic. But they're an excellent resource as well for ADHD. So we're going to touch on some metaphors that they offer with the bridge of motivation and the wall of awful, as well as just some other stuff that they've thrown out that I found useful for me and possibly for others. So I guess I'll start soon. The other things I'm going to talk about is just, as I said, the channel stuff, what happened, why I stopped releasing anything other than live streams, why after 2 years I have like 6 videos on the channel, not including live streams, if that, and just what that means and what effects it had on me and the channel, and how to fix this, how to, not necessarily fix isn't necessarily the right word, how to create what I intended to create, how to build up the community, how to get the videos for myself and for you guys out there, because it's been tough. We'll touch on that. So, to start off, often when I've been doing these updates, I've been starting off with, oh, apologize, and greatly sorry nothing came out, and all this, and as much as, yes, I am sorry that nothing's come out recently, I'm not going to do that whole apology thing again, because when I was doing that, part of it was trying to push through and apologize. Here, here's why I took the break. Here's the apology. Let's jump right into things. And we can't do that. I can't keep doing that. Let's backtrack. So I talked that ADHD is very pervasive, and that despite being seen as one of the least debilitating, I think it's just as, if not more debilitating than a lot of the ones out there. A lot of people think ADHD is just, they get distracted, they jump thoughts like I've done. They're hyper and weird, which I am. But there's so much more to it. There's so much more to it. There's forgetfulness, there's confusion, there's comprehension issues. One of the memories from when I was younger is how debilitating the hyperfocusing can be if it's done in a way that's not useful to you. Sometimes hyperfocusing can be great because I can be getting deep in a Zelda theory that I'm writing, because I am still writing them all. I have a pad of theory stuff we'll look at later. I can get deep and really sink my teeth into a Zelda theory, but as an instance when I was a kid, I was so deep in conversation with my friends, I started putting on my jacket backwards. And stuff like that was when the teachers went, there's something wrong with this girl. And I laughed, but there's stuff like that. Your brain almost seems to lie to you sometimes, where I'll be trying to remember schedules for things. And because I've had a specific time for doing things every other time, my brain will automatically go, yeah, that's the time that we do it, even if it's not. And this has messed up schedules for work, schedules for videos, schedules for meeting people. It has messed up with dates. It's messed up all sorts of things, where it feels like your brain's lying to you, or it's like a broken clock. You look at the clock and you go, yeah, it's still ticking. It should be telling the right time. It's broken. And I've been trying to not use the term broken brain as much, because I'm doing counseling and it's such a negative connotation to it, but it's a clock that's not working as efficiently as the other clocks in the room. So to go back to some of the symptoms, I'm gonna jump around a lot, I'm sorry. I've taken some notes that go on this, but it's such a visceral thing that I might jump around. And I apologize if that's confusing for people. I'll summarize each kind of part I talk on closer to the end of it. I promise. To go back to symptoms, there's the forgetfulness, there's the confusion, there's the comprehension issues. You tell me something verbally, I'll get 90% of it. I will. But there's that 10% that I'm like, I might come and ask you the question 2-3 more times. But if you show me as you're telling me, okay, yeah, now we're driving. But verbally, I can't click into things the way a lot of people can just click into what's being said. If I can visualize it, or I can have a metaphor, ADHD people, I hate to generalize, but ADHD people love metaphors. We do. Which is why I like the Wall of Awful and the Bridge of Motivation so much, that we'll touch on. Because that helps my comprehension. That's something I can picture. That's something I can mold and grasp onto and form to resonate with me Versus if you just tell me, this and this and this is how it is, I'm not going to resonate with that. I'm just not. But if it's something that I can imagine or I can see or I can visualize, then that solidifies the idea for me. Beyond those, there's the frustration. Now, everybody deals with frustration when things go wrong. But, the ADHD frustration, that's where it really gets you, because your brain can't comprehend how to fix the situation. So you're already dealing with a brain that doesn't seem to be functioning as ideally as everybody else's brain. You're feeling like you're falling behind. You feel like you're malfunctioning. And then on top of that, you're so confused and forgetful and feeling incompetent that you don't know how to fix it. And it's debilitating. Because you just don't know what to do with yourself sometimes. I'm sorry I haven't shown the side before and I haven't been as open about it. I like to act like, I got this. The swimming duck, you don't want to see anyone to see how hard you're paddling. And unfortunately with ADHD, it just feels like you have to paddle twice as hard to keep floating as smoothly as everyone else. And I should have addressed that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for myself. I'm sorry for honesty with you guys. And I'm sorry for everyone who had ADHD who I let feel like maybe they didn't have the support for me in terms of being real with that. Because it is a real issue. Like, it really, really is. And I should have been real with everyone on it. Because, the frustration can really beat you down. Beyond just regular frustration, it can make you feel like, why can't I do what everyone else does? Why can't I function in the same way that everybody else functions? Like, that's just not fair that we seem to be, we never seem to keep up with everybody. At least how it's always felt for me. And like, I say always, and it's not necessarily always consistent, but it's always in the back there. Like I mentioned, my buttons didn't get set up, so that's bothering me, because my camera ended up having, it was working fine on Thursday, I swear to God, and then today it's crashing nonstop. So it's, little things like that just beat you down and beat you down. And everybody, as I said, goes through that, but when you're dealing with already feeling like you're not as strong as everybody else, and then you get one of those issues, it just kind of reinforces that. There is lots of good with ADHD too, I promise. We're very creative. I'm always coming up with ideas, and maybe they all follow through, but some do, and then I just, I feel so good about, I succeeded despite my ADHD, and it helped me be creative, and it helped me think outside the box, and it helped me, be this kind of crazy, wild person. We're very enthusiastic, we're passionate, we throw ourselves into things. We're very, well, I shouldn't generalize with this, but a lot of the time, especially with ADHD compared to ADD, we're very outgoing, very friendly, we're very just out there energy kind of thing. And like I said, I shouldn't generalize because not everyone with ADHD is like that. But these are some of the positive traits that I have found in myself and some others with ADHD that I really attest to. You know, I like being that energetic go-getter, the passionate one who has all these ideas and just wants to change the world. It's just also it makes it hard too. So one of the things I really attested to with how to ADHD the channel, as well as just with my own ADHD, like one thing that really resonated was this wall of awful. Now, if you've ever tried to do something simple and found you can't get yourself to do it, you know, if it's, you know, making a phone call to a place that, you know, oh, I should have done this, and now I have to call them because it's going to be later, it's going to be behind, or it's going to mess things up. You're already starting to feel a bit broken down. Each of these things that I mentioned, maybe it's late, maybe it's, you know, the people were rude to you last time, maybe it's, you know, I should have done this and it's my fault that it's not completed and now I have to deal with the consequences. Maybe it's, you know, this paperwork's hard and I don't want to have to deal with this. Maybe it's, this is just bringing up a lot of negative emotions and I don't want to deal with this. All of those are bricks that go into your wall of awful, and it gets built higher and higher and higher and higher with every time you feel anything negative or anything difficult gets in your way. The camera, I was like, at 11:20, I was like, Jesus, this just ain't working. I was like, I just want to make this work so I can make everything else work. I want to be able to explain this and talk about what's going on, be honest with you guys, and then explain, you know, how I'm going to change things around the channel or change things around, you know, the setup and stuff to make things easier so I can do this. And then this crashes down and it's like brick upon brick, baby. One brick at a time we're building that wall, and it just sucks because it gets in your way. You know, it's this giant wall that you have to either get through or get around or get over to try and get to the other side and get what you want. And getting around is almost impossible because it's a metaphor, so it's infinitely long. So you can do a few things. The ones they gave are, you know, the fight, flight, or freeze response. You stare at the wall going, oh, this is a task. I can't do it right now. And you just either stare at the wall or walk away from it, which is the freeze. There's the flight. You try and you go around it and you're running and running and running all along this wall to try and find where it ends on the other side, but there's no end to it. It's a metaphor. It's all these negative emotions are just wrapping around you. So you're running in a circle, trapped inside this wall and cycling and cycling. And ADHD cycles, plus I'm borderline OCD, so I really cycle. I get stuck in this loop and I just go down the drain. And so yeah, you can try and run around the wall with the flight response, but you're just gonna find yourself in a circle and find yourself in a loop and you're stuck there. And then there's the fight, which is just Hulk smashing through this wall, and that's what I've been trying to do. None have gone on the channel, but I've recorded, I believe, over 24 videos in the last 2 months to put on here. And just little things like forgetting, You know, I thought I clicked on everything. I forgot to click on my camera. Well, I could try and re-record face cam to match it to the gameplay and audio I did. I could release it without face cam, but that's not necessarily the quality I want to put out there. Or I could re-record it, which is what I usually try to do. But then there was a technical issue next time. No face cam. Another technical issue. Another video I have to do. Yet another video I have to do. Oops, this one got messed up. Okay, now I have to do 4 hours of editing. Oh, I'm not good at editing. And just, I would smash through one part of the wall, but then I'd find more wall behind it, which sucks. I keep saying it sucks. Obviously it sucks, but like, instead of trying to Hulk smash it, because that only works for so long, which is why I'm starting to find walls behind where I smashed through. So not only do I have my wall, I have an outer wall now of all the times I messed it up. So this wall is made up of all the hardship, like technical issues and re-recordings and all the pressure to get videos out, because I want to put my voice out there for you guys to see. I want to build a community. Nothing's going to build up. No one's going to be watching if I don't get stuff out there. You know, if you guys don't have anything to watch, why are you going to pay attention? And I mean, a lot of you are my friends, so you're probably going to anyways, and I appreciate that. But honestly, if I don't put stuff out there, what am I offering you? So there's that pressure, as well as the guilt of not recording, as well as all the technical issues I faced, as well as, you know, the hours of editing that I have to schedule in. So that's that wall. But then every time I screwed it up, there's another wall. And that one's not necessarily just tied to ADHD, although it does sometimes hit ADHD people harder, is failure. Specifically, I've been looking into schema therapy and other methods of dealing with it through counseling as well, of incompetence and failure schemas. Because I've made so many past mistakes in often similar and simple ways, like messing up the schedule, like forgetting to turn on the camera, like double clicking my audio for recording. So therefore my mic doesn't record anything because you double click the button while it recorded and then paused. The incompetence and failure schemas, the buttons aren't around my head right now. Each one, you know, makes me question whether I'm good enough to even do it. Each time I mess up, I'm like, am I ever going to make this work? I'm really trying and really throwing my all into it, but when things get in the way, that's one thing. And then you feel bad about things getting in the way, and that's another. And there's the pressure from things getting in the way, and just, I built up wall around wall around wall now, and I can't keep smashing through them, because I'm burning out, and I don't want to lose passion over this, and I don't want to not want to do this. But each time I smash through, I'm finding more walls, and that's just adding more bricks to the original wall as well as the outer walls. And I'm just now trapped in a maze of walls of awful. Not just one anymore, but the multiple walls of awful that are starting to surround me. So how do you deal with a wall of awful if you can't Hulk smash it like I've been trying to do? I didn't think I was trying to Hulk smash it. I was trying to make things easy for myself. I have checklists on, what to do pre-recording and recording. I tried to ease my setup by getting the camera cable so that way the camera would work today, and it did 2 days ago. And I've tried to get better mics, better lighting. There we go. Hang sound blankets so that way my audio is better. I've tried to do all these things to remove bricks from the wall of awful, remove it from my audio's crap, or my video is not where I want it to be, or, I don't post on social media often enough. I've been trying to do more of that. I've been trying to do things to remove bricks. So I didn't think I was trying to Hulk smash through it until just more recently when I'm just like, I can't keep up the way I'm doing it. So how I said I'm doing all these little things, the first step is to try and put footholds in. Do little things that will help you climb that wall. Do little things to make the brick seem less daunting, for lack of better application to the metaphor. Little handholds like run through the checklist. Did I make sure everything's okay? Have a support person like Leslie, thank you, who checks your audio and video and stuff to make sure it's working acceptably when you go to stream. Having another tip from ADHD is the bullet journal. I adore it. When I had regular schedules, COVID be damned, when I had regular schedules, it allows me to write the schedule the way I need to, so I can, the thing's a little bright, of course it won't show, there you go, can kind of see it, you can kind of see it, you can actually, one moment, I'm gonna be dark for a moment. You can see that you can actually write out the different dot points, and one of the great things, apologize for darkness, is you can do stuff like splash pages. So if I have random notes, I can just throw them on the splash page to put into the proper section later, and you can make your own sections. Now, the reason why that's important, especially for those with ADHD like myself, is, and just really anyone, is if you've ever tried to buy one of the pre-made journals that apparently, I say apparently because they've never worked for me, that apparently work for most of the population. Like I said, they do not work for me. I'll write in it for like 2, maybe 3 weeks, maybe a couple months if I'm really doing well, and then I realize I missed a couple weeks, or there's an entire section of it that's like finances and stuff like that, and I'm like, I'm too disorganized, I'll never write in that section, and then it's just wasted pages, and then you feel bad, and you're like ripping out pages so you can use it for scrap paper later and all that stuff, and then a couple months down the line you realize, oh, I've been forgetting to write in this, and now the whole journal's wasted. By writing your own index page, you get to put whatever you want in it. You get to add pages to the schedule or take pages out of the schedule without worrying that the entire binder is going to get wrecked by ruining the binding or stuff like that. You get to color code it, so I can immediately see if it's yellow, it's something for house stuff I need, or what have you. So you can do something like that to add little footholds to make things easier for you. That has been helpful. The checklist has been helpful. But my ADHD is severe, it is pervasive, and with each failure I get more and more dejected. What happens when footholds aren't enough? You need to create a door. With that, it takes a lot more work. Maybe you spend an hour staring at the wall or trying to use the footholds, and the footholds are breaking on you. And then you spend half an hour going, okay, well, what happened? Why did my footholds break? Why can I not climb over this? And maybe you'll have that slight realization that just, oh, these bricks are loose. If I push on them, there's my door. Maybe you can take a chisel or a jackhammer and just knock out a few bricks by just thinking on it a little longer. Maybe you can do counseling and they can help you knock out a few bricks. So, for me, what I am doing is, since a lot of my issues with getting videos out have actually been technical more than scheduling, or with scheduling, editing, and doing the editing quick enough to get videos out regularly, I'm going to be live streaming 90% of the time from now on. I will still try and get out edited videos in the form of theory videos, and possibly the odd longer or more convoluted video, so I'm not necessarily rambling like I do. But my plan is to actually do shortened videos. For most part, I'm going to be doing some ones. Some of my first ideas are, I want to show off some indie games that I think really could use some love. There's ones like Bear Shift, and there's ones like The Silent Age that really haven't gotten the love that I think they deserve, because they are so awesome looking. I haven't played them through fully, but I have checked them out a little bit, so I'll be showing those off, probably doing one either every 2 weeks or every month with that. The other ones I'm planning on doing is actually a naked link run in Breath of the Wild. Basically, once you play through Breath of the Wild for long enough, you'll be getting heat resistant clothing, or lightning resistant clothing, or cold weather clothing. And the thing with that is that just made the game too easy. I'm gonna go to Goron City, throw on the heat weather gear. I'm gonna go to the Rito Village, throw on cold weather gear. And it just, there was a lot less challenge, where I think if I pretty much only wear my shorts and run around making food to supplement all of it, that'll create more of a challenge for myself and will reinstill a little bit of passion in the game. Opposed to that, I also want to do a series where meet your resident tour guide for the Hyrule history of Hyrule. And so we will be exploring parts of Breath of the Wild and how it connects to the history that we see throughout the timeline of Zelda, all throughout Breath of the Wild. Some little interesting tidbits is some people will come across, there's some ruins that are just barely standing walls with a treasure chest, and most people are like, oh, that's cool, there's a chest there. But little did you know that those ruins were actually this center and this location from this game, 10,000 years ago, or 3,000 years ago. And so I want to introduce that kind of series of showing the history of Hyrule as a tour guide in Breath of the Wild. So I hope you guys will enjoy those. To go back to the mental health and the Wall of Awful and stuff, though, that's why I haven't been getting videos out. is I've been trying to get this channel fully functioning, regular schedule, videos up all the time for 2 years. Now, if I just said I did 24 recordings in 2 months, now not every month is that jam-packed. I was really trying to pressure myself to get something up these past couple months. Not every month is that jam-packed, but if I have 6 videos in 2 years, how many videos do you think did not get up? Now, I said I have incompetence and failure schemas. How many times? How many unsuccessful attempts at uploading a video do you think I feel like I've had? It wears on you. It really does. Sorry that this is a downer live stream so far, but I had to be honest. You know, I keep telling people, yeah, I'm gonna get those videos out and it's gonna be great when I do and all that, but I have to be honest that, yeah, there's been many a time where I'm like, am I even good enough to make this work? Should I even be continuing to try? But I want to. I want to do this, and I want to create this community, and I want to be the support that others need for ADHD, which I haven't been doing, and I want to get my voice out there, my theories out there, which I haven't been doing. I want to make this work, and I am trying really hard, and I just wanted you guys to know that. And with ADHD, it's so hard because so many people don't realize how pervasive it is. You know, beyond the hyperness, beyond the distraction, I can't trust my brain most days. I can't rely on it, is a better phrase. I can't rely on my brain to act the same way as everybody else's. It doesn't act the same way. It does things differently. Not necessarily always badly, as we've seen, like with the creativity, with the passion, with the ambition, with the caring. I find ADHD people are often some of the most empathetic, you know, because they will often go into their mind when people are talking, and they'll be kind of analyzing things, and they'll be assessing things more so. And, you know, they can really come out empathetic because of that, because they're immediately trying to connect with whatever is being said. Even if the comprehension's not always there, they're trying to connect. But yeah, it's I can't rely on my brain to handle what most other people can handle, I find. And that's not always true of ADHD. Like, I don't want to use it as an excuse, and I don't want to say, oh, it's the whole reason why I failed or anything. But it's so pervasive, and if you're not finding what works for you, it's hard to work around. You know, sorry, I'm having trouble figuring out how to explain it fully. If you have ADHD, you probably know. But if you don't, it's sometimes hard to explain. One good statement I heard was that there's a war going on inside the brain. You're literally fighting with yourself to be as capable and as good as everyone else. And often you feel like it's a battle that you're not winning, which is so hard. But you are fighting a war with yourself, and you are putting all the effort and all the passion and all the energy you can in to do what needs to get done. And it's hard. And beyond just frustration and confusion and comprehension and everything else, it's, there's the fact that ADHD people are often seen that they have trouble reading social cues sometimes. Despite I said they can be empathetic, they can also trounce over social cues because they're so busy being enthusiastic or being energetic or being passionate that they override people. They'll interrupt people, they'll talk over them, they'll sometimes put their own ideas as high importance and not realize that they are kind of pushing the other person's ideas away without meaning to. And we don't mean to offend, we don't mean to trounce you, we don't mean to interrupt you, we don't mean to push on you. We're just that enthusiastic about what we're enthusiastic about, that sometimes we'll be so enthusiastic that we don't realize you're trying to be as well, or we don't have awareness of it. We probably realize it, but we don't have awareness that our enthusiasm is smothering yours. But yeah, it's a constant battle to keep afloat. And you're constantly going like, well, they can do it, why can't I? And that's one of the biggest things that hits me. And every ADHD case is different. It really is. It's not going to manifest the same way for multiple people. My sister has ADD and I have ADHD, and I won't tell much of her story because that's hers to tear. But not only through like personality, not even through physicality, just everything. We're completely different people. I have hazel eyes, she has blue. I have curly wavy hair, she has poker straight. I'm hyper and really nerdy and enthusiastic and deep into fandom, and I'm a lower whore and stuff like that, and just pardon my language, and just I'm that kind of crazy off the wall kind of person usually, and I'm forgetful, and I have comprehension issues with regards to not comprehension. I have organization issues more than comprehension. She had more of the comprehension compared to organization. She is often, good at timing. She's rarely late for stuff other than family gatherings. She, is good at schedules. She's organized. She's stayed on top of things. She's, kept jobs for many, many years. All stuff which I've struggled with. But, on my side, a lot of the comprehension I get, I am less likely to... I can have a better grasp of, faraway concepts like astrophysics. I actually understand all the theory of astrophysics, but I couldn't apply it. My math brain's not there. My organization is not there. But the concepts and stuff like that, I can clearly grasp onto and stuff. Where she had more of the comprehension issues. My brain doesn't want to function together. I can't take slot A necessarily get to slot B as a direct line. My brain goes as we've seen even in this video, she can do the straight line stuff. But it also manifests different issues in everyone. Like I said, she had a lot of the comprehension stuff where I had, I was so forgetful and confused and hyper-focusing that they thought I had Tourette's. They thought I had autism. And these are pretty debilitating things. Not that ADHD is not, and that's just my point. So, I've rambled on a bunch of different stuff. Just before I summarize everything, the last thing I wanted to touch on was the privilege of motivation. And with the points I made about, I was this close to saying, am I good enough to do this? Should I even do this anymore? The bridge of motivation is, yes, we want to get from point A to point B, but with ADHD, with everybody, they have a bridge, and point B is here, point A is here, and they have certain planks to get across. Now, if more people, one or two planks might be weak or might be missing, maybe it's a lot of work. Maybe it's a tight deadline and they're not sure you can do it on time. Maybe they don't have quite the skill level they want to. With ADHD, because of our lack of functionality, and we're already aware of that lack of functionality, there goes more planks. And now half your bridge is missing instead of just maybe a 16th of it or an 8th of it. And doing this jump is a lot harder than doing that one. And so the bridge of motivation was also put forward to me by How to ADHD. Again, a great resource. They're doing a live streamer after this. So check them out if you do have ADHD and you're looking for more resources, because they've been really useful to me. One of the ones that they did recently was a dopamine menu, which it sounds bad, but it's a menu to get your dopamine fixes. How when you're feeling low and burnt out and just how do you get that dopamine fix so that way you have the energy to do what you want to do, which is amazing. Because a lot of ADHD, one of the reasons why we are so go, honestly, is because of the fact that we like having those dopamine fixes. We get a big kick out of, yeah, I did this. Because immediately for me, and probably for a lot of other people, it's when your brain is constantly fighting with you, you feel beaten down. And those little dopamine fixes help you pick you back up, and so creating, what gives you the good feelings to get the energy to do stuff, whether it's, doing yoga, going for a walk, playing games, this or that, the other thing. And one of the cool things is you can create, appetizers. So an appetizer for me would be watching a YouTube video with a really interesting concept, because that not only sparks my dopamine, that actually sparks my inspiration, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, I want to look more into that, or I want to do something like that. So that's, 15-minute video is not actually that much time to devote to it. Something that would be an entree for me would be something like this. I get a video out, I get to chat with people. Maybe after COVID, I go out and I hang out with people and I have a really fun nerdy night, talking about things or playing games or something. But that's, multiple hours / lots of preparation depending on things. And then you have desserts. Stuff that you shouldn't do too often, but is good to have, and it really helps you out. Playing Zelda. really any game, but especially like Zelda, Bendy, those really ones that have a lot of hidden lore to them. Like they seem straightforward at first, but no, there's stuff buried under buried in terms of stuff. And I love getting into the game, and then, you know, if partway through the game you dig out this little tidbit that nobody else noticed, you're like, oh, that's so cool. Like that's a big rush. It's why I'm so big on the lore, and why I attest to a lot of these games is just I love that feeling of digging in and oh, I didn't notice that, you know. It's amazing. So, to basically summarize all of that I've been talking about, because as I said, I've been jumping around stuff. My plan is that I want to start being more open with myself, with you guys, with everything in general on ADHD, because it's quite pervasive. It's it's messed me up. And I'm not the only one, for sure. But it has its good moments too. So I want to advocate for positive ADHD, you know. When I was in my teens, I was seen as an ADHD success case because I was the happy-go-lucky go-getter who was always up and at 'em and beyond my maturity and stuff. And I want to help myself and others get to that point again. You know, your ADHD doesn't have to hold you back, but the world needs to understand it better before. Let me rephrase that, because that sounds really negative. There's a lot to know about ADHD, and if you're uninformed, it's not helpful. And if the world, or even us as individuals, were better informed on our ADHD, I think we'd have an easier time with it. And that's not necessarily always the case, but always being informed will help you at least understand how to cope with what you need to do for you. Like doing the live streams, I feel will take the pressure off of some of these bricks from Wall of Awesome. Maybe we can take some of these bricks down and turn them into planks for the Bridge of Motivation, you know. Oh, I got to show off these cool indie games I've been meaning to for a while, but I haven't because I was trying to record the videos that I've been intending to get out. Take that brick down, I get to show off the indie videos. You know, oh, I have videos out once a week now. Take that pressure of, I'm so behind, I haven't released them forever, oh my god, people are gonna forget about me. I have regular videos out, and turn that wall of awful into my bridge of motivation. See? I brought it back. But, yeah, is just take down what is holding me back and fill me up with it. And maybe I can do that for others as well by discussing ADHD and how to deal with some of the crap that we deal with. Pardon my language, but like, if you're knowledgeable, you can work around what needs to be worked around because you at least know what's going on with you. And I'm hoping I can, you know, put some of that forward. You know, I had been looking into it for years when I was younger. I had, you know, guided therapy. I've had counselors. I've had my mom who fought for me nonstop. And I want to help other people get through it. Because it's not easy. It's, you know, it's, I said at the start that it's seen as one of the least debilitating learning disorders, at least as far as I've seen public image, if you're ADHD, you do some coping techniques, you get some medication, you're going to be fine. And that's not the case remotely at all. And I do appreciate my ADHD at times. Like I said, the hyper-focusing really helps when I need to buckle down and get work. I love how creative I can be. I love my passion. I love my enthusiasm, and I wouldn't change those for the world. Despite how negative I'm sounding in this video, I would not give up my ADHD because it's part of who I am. But it has brought a lot of challenges in. And if I can help people through those challenges, I want to do that. I do plan to mainly focus on gaming still. I do plan to focus a good chunk on theory still. But I want to be more open about when I'm dealing with crap. Because, if I'm dealing with crap, who else is? Truth be told. There's probably a whole schwackload of us that is. So that's the advocating on the ADHD and the awareness in the mental health stuff. To summarize on the mental health, I was really feeling beaten down on it. For my KeyCon guys, I didn't want you to see this, which is why I wasn't open about it during the convention, but I was trying to get out a few recorded panels / live streams for KeyCon, and just all of them fell apart. And with each one I got beaten down more, and just that on top of the YouTube stuff, I honestly had some real moments, and that's when I went, no, you know what, this needs to change. Because if it's bad for me, it's bad for the channel, because I can't function enough to make the channel work if I can't function, period. So moving forward, what we're going to be doing is roughly once a week we are going to be doing a live stream just for an hour, maybe 2 tops, just to take it easy and do a little bit each time. The first one is going to be coming up next Saturday between, I believe, 7 to 9 was the time I was aiming for. And we are going to be playing the game Bear Chef. Now, I'll actually post about it and stuff closer to probably mid next week. But it's a cute little game where there's a bear and a cat that seem to be in the spirit world, and they are having guests come into their cafe who want their nostalgic meal. And some people will remember their meal, no problems, you can serve them. And maybe it's their mom's pasta, maybe it's the meal they had with their wife for their anniversary, maybe it's some candy that them and their sister shared when they were kids. But some people won't remember, and you have to go into their memories and discover what this meal was and why it was so important to them. And then it helps them move on. And there is the other side of it, where once they've moved on, you can actually visit their spirit waiting for the train to go to the afterlife, and you do get to kind of see how their life ended, which that part's tough. So I will warn you guys that it will have tough moments in it, But I want to explore that game because it's really interesting. Like, I've never seen that kind of concept done in a game, as far as I know, where it's, you know, a meal tied to their ideal memory, you know, is what helps them move on. And, you know, by seeing what these people went through in both life and death, and, you know, seeing what made them attach that meal. As I said, maybe it was their mother's cooking and they were very close to the mother and she was a loving person. Maybe it's the sister and their brother were very close, and one of his favorite memories was they shared candy before, you know, she went off to school and they became distant and stuff like that. It's really, I think it's really going to be a cool game, and I'd love to show it off. Because it's just so neat that they took that notion of these people are attached to these food items because of these reasons, and they expanded it and you get to explore it. So that's the first one. And then, as I said, I'm going to try and do 4 a month if I can. One of which will be probably the Naked Link Run. One of which will probably be the tour guide, though the tour guide will probably not start for a couple months, just because of the fact that I have to get far enough in Breath of the Wild again, because I started the game over a little while ago. I have to get far enough so that way I can travel to everywhere and show you them, right? I can also do it as I progress the game in the Naked Link Run, so at the very least the tour guide for Hyrule, for the history of Hyrule, will be after the first video on Naked Link Run. But that's my plan, is to do live streams once a week, so we have regular stuff coming out on the channel. You'll still get some introspective of my thoughts, starting with, you know, the tour guide for Hyrule, or possibly 1 or 2 other games here and there, like Bear Chef. I have tons of theories in my books over here. As I open it upside down. These are all various books filled with theories that have yet to come out. So I will have lots of stuff for you guys to come out. And the theory videos will be released as they come. I won't guarantee any timeline on them, because those ones will be scripted, edited, voiced over, so they will take more work and it will take more time to complete. And given my past track record, I don't want to make promises and put pressure on myself and then have that just add more bricks to the wall that we are trying to tear down. The walls to get this working again. So that's the plans. Despite a lot of the hard talk and the negative talk, especially around ADHD in this video, I am fine. You don't have to worry. I'm not down and out, and I'm not, you know, in the worst state I've ever been in. I'm far from that. I'm actually mostly, you know, 8 out of 10. But this needed to change because it was dragging that 8 further and further down. And I just wanted to be honest. And like I said, I want to be open about my ADHD, because how can I help others with theirs if I'm not open about what I'm dealing with? Because maybe they're dealing with the same, and maybe something I say helps them. Maybe not this video because it's been so negative, but I mean, there's still the Wall of Awful, the Bridge of Motivation, the bullet journal, and other tips. You know, we find ways to work around, we find ways to cope with our our half-working brain. Sorry about the coughing. We find ways to cope with how our brain works differently than others. And it's not necessarily just broken, but it is differently. And unfortunately, society as it stands doesn't always support different thinking. It's gotten a lot better, but it's still a ways to go. But yeah, if I can help you guys cope with that by talking more about it, then I'm will try. So I'm not sure exactly how to end this, except for I hope I see you guys on my live stream on Saturday, and we'll check out Bear Chef, and depending on the length of the game, maybe another one, and hopefully this will ease a lot of the stuff that's been getting in the way, and we can tear down that wall of awful at least a little bit so it's easier to climb around, or throw some doors in so I can get through and make cool stuff for you guys and myself. So if you haven't subscribed, please do, because then you'll know when my videos are coming out. Ring that bell, ding-ling, because that bell will help you get videos. I know I don't have it here, but usually I would. So usually, imagine a little bell shape there. There you go, ding-ling-ling. Force the habit. But yeah, ring the bell, subscribe, because that will let you know when I'm doing these things. You can also follow me on social media, because I'll post about it. But yeah, ADHD is tough. Poor mental health sucks. We gotta not feel like a failure. We gotta keep trying new things, because one of them may work. And I hope to see you in the next live stream. Bye.